Today we will draw a box of chocolates in Procreate. We will use one brush, the chalk brush from Procreate, comes with the app. We'll use the selection tool to make a little bit of detail, some texture. We'll have a whole bunch of fun with it. Let's get started. To begin, I just use a screen size canvas. You can choose whatever canvas size you prefer. And first, here are some examples from Unsplash that I found, just to give us a little bit of a reference, maybe some ideas. So let's begin by finding our chalk brush, which we can find that in the calligraphy folder. So tap on the brush icon, calligraphy folder. Mine's a little bit up here in the top. Yours might be in the bottom. I sometimes move my brushes around. So I got my chalk brush. I want like a turquoise green box. So I'm gonna go with that color. You choose whatever color box you would prefer. Yeah, I think I like that. And what we're gonna do, we're on first layer, just doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Our box gives it a more character. Draw around the rectangle. Like so. It's not perfectly even, that's okay. So this will be our box. I'll tap on the layer to rename it box so I don't draw on it. Our second layer, I'm gonna type in sketch. And I'm just gonna grab like a gray color. I'm gonna bring down my brush size to about 4. I just want to sketch out where I want my chocolates. So for example, there's circle chocolates. This is fun, geometric. They're all over the place. This one is more organized into squares. So whatever your preference is, I'm gonna stick with the square idea, the classic. And I'm gonna make about 3 rows. So I'll have a circle chocolate. Let's do a box. Square chocolate, and maybe a heart. I'll do an oval. Just sketching it out. So if it's messy, all is good. And I want to erase with the same brush that I'm drawing with. So I already have that brush selected here in my brush icon. I'm just gonna tap and hold on my eraser, and that will automatically select the same brush. That way I don't have to go looking for it. That's a pretty good oval. What else we got here? Ooh, triangle chocolates. That'll be fun. Curved triangle chocolates. Just gonna clean this up a bit. Got my circle, got my square. What other examples do they have? That's about it. Gonna do a rectangle. Curved rectangle. My square chocolate should also be curved. Got my circle, add in another circle here. And I think I want to go with another triangle one over here. Make my circle a little bit bigger. Circle, circle, triangle, triangle. I'm gonna go with another square. We have them spaced out a bit because around each chocolate, we're also gonna add the wrapper. So we wanna have some space. I'm going to move over my middle section to the right a little bit. So selection tool to move anything over. That's about good. Doesn't have to be perfect in the middle. I think I'm going to select these as well. Scoot them over a bit. I like it. And you can also rotate your drawings if you'd like. Rotate that one. Oops. Selection tool. Rotate this one. We can make the one box a diamond by just rotating it. That might be fun too. Great, I'm happy with that. So here's our sketch. We're gonna add in all the wrappers around. So that's why we need the space. So that's our sketch. I'm gonna bring down the opacity a little bit. And let's start off with first drawing in our chocolates, different colors. Then we'll add the detail, and wrapper we'll do last so we know how big our chocolates are. So new layer. I still have my chalk. I'm gonna start off with brown. So go into the reds and the oranges. That's where our browns are. We have like chocolate bars. You can increase the size of the disc to get like a light brown, darker brown, and so on. I'm just gonna start off with like a milk chocolate brown color. So that's about in the middle between orange and red. And I'm just gonna start here in the middle. Yes, new layer. I'm gonna rename it chocolate. There we go. And don't worry if your drawings aren't perfect, because chocolates usually aren't perfectly symmetrical anyways. Beautiful. This one, let's make it a darker brown. Maybe go with like white chocolate. Beautiful. Let's go with like a pink chocolate, because why not? I think my favorite chocolate is milk chocolate. Sort of filling in the middle. Always awesome. Let's go with like a really dark chocolate. And then we can add some detail like here for this circular one. A little bit too red of a brown for me. There we go, that's better. We can add details of coconut flakes, or maybe there'll be white chocolate flakes later. Okay, we're doing great. 4 to go. Last one. I'll make it really dark. No, I guess it's like a medium. So as you can see in the reference pictures, most chocolate boxes have a dark color on the inside, black or dark brown. So our wrappers will be a black mixed with a little bit of gray and white. So instead of making the inside of our box black, which you can change because we'll put on a different layer, let's make it really dark brown. So new layer above the box, rename it box inside or just the inside of the box. Whoops. Rename inside. There we go. And I will move this layer below my turquoise outline. And I'm gonna choose a very dark brown. Like down here. Not black, but it's pretty dark. And then felt layer. Looking great. So it's a very dark brown. You can make it even darker. It's on its own layer, so it's easy to tweak, to change. It's great. For our turquoise box, if there's too much detail or too much of the brown coming through, just zoom in, select the turquoise or the green, whatever color you used, go back to that box layer, and you can go over it, or a quicker way, you can just duplicate the layer 2 or 3 times, and then we will pinch all 3 layers, or maybe you have 4 layers, pinch them together to bring them down to 1. And I still have a little bit of texture there. I'm just gonna do it one more time. Pinch them together. And for whatever reason, if pinching is not working for you, just tap on the top layer and then tap merge down, and then it'll be in one layer. So how does that look? That looks great. I have my texture still on this side and the outside is filled in. Beautiful. Let's add chocolate details at the end. We can turn off our sketching layer because that's not needed anymore. And let's work on our wrapping paper. So our wrapping paper, we will want it to be below our chocolates. Wrappers. Just type in paper. We have the chalk brush. We need the chalk brush for our smudge tool as well. So same thing with the eraser. Because I have the chalk brush already selected for my brush icon, I can just tap and hold the smudge tool and it will automatically find that brush for me. Just a little quick trick. Okay, let's go into, I'll start off with gray just so that I can see where I'm drawing. Zoom in and we're making zigzags. Around my chocolate. I will now increase the color, same layer, zigzag with white. Well, it's not pure white, it's like a gray white. Pure white is if we double tap there. So just between gray and the white. So it's just super light gray, but because it's against the brown, it looks white. Now tap on your smudge tool and we're gonna zigzag around. Just make sure when you're zigzagging on the previous two colors that you drew, because if you zigzag too far out, you'll start bringing in other colors. Well, it's not actually that you're bringing in other colors, you're just bringing in too much space, so the other colors are being shown as I shown here, as it's showing there. So just small zigzags. Like so. Now we're gonna bring it down to dark gray and just zigzag within the inner part of that circle. Not on the outside, but on the inside, like so. Because that's where we have more of the shading, where the chocolate meets the wrapper. So I'm gonna bring my, tap on my smudge tool, ooh, not eraser, smudge tool. And we're zigzagging and almost bringing it up and kind of blending it. We can go over this a few times, but don't overthink it. We'll add more detail. So what will happen after when we add details to our chocolates, I will select this color, bring it down a bit, make it a little bit darker. And I forgot, we will also add in clipping mask. Smudge that out a bit to blend it. Doesn't have to be 100% even. Increase my brush size a bit so you get that shadow effect. And we're gonna keep doing that for each chocolate. And then after we'll also add some extra detail. For example, maybe you have like a pink drizzle on here. And then we can add a new layer and add in highlights and shadows. But for now, let's go back to our paper and continue. So we got that perfect gray to start off with. Make sure you're on the right layer, zigzag around. not white, but in between the gray and the white. Smudge tool. Now grab a dark gray, not black, but just a dark gray. Just go around, zigzag around the chocolate, and then smudge that out again. We're just smudging by zigzagging. You might need to add a little bit more dark gray. Or you might need to add more white. And zigzag out. As you can see, this one and this one, the wrapper is hitting the box edge. That's okay. We can always move things down. And in order to select all these three, I first need to select all three layers. So I will need to select the wrapping paper, swipe to the right to select the chocolates, swipe like so. Once you have all the layers that you need selected, I can type on the selection tool, select down here all three chocolates, and it'll move everything, even the details that are on separate layers. Like so. And then we've moved our chocolate. If the wrapping paper are touching each other and near each other, that's okay. As you can see in the reference photos, that's the same. So let's keep going. And if you want your wrapping paper to be more dark, just use more gray and dark gray instead of the light gray, and so on and so forth. So grab my gray, make sure I'm on the right layer of paper, and off we go. And because we're using the chalk brush, if we're messy, it's all good. I'm just gonna go through all my chocolates first with the gray and go back in with the light gray and the dark gray. And I'm gonna fix this a little bit by making the wrapper bigger. Around the heart. Beautiful. Awesome. Light gray. And the dark gray. And once I do the initial smudging, I can go back and add more dark gray, white, and so on and so forth. Where did I, oh, over here. Okay, smudge tool. I'm gonna zoom in just so that it's more detailed now while I zigzag back and forth. And don't worry about it being too perfect, because you want the different lights and highlights and shadows. Forgot this one. It's messy, it's fun, it's full. Let's add details to our chocolates. So this is our detail for our chocolates, like the shadows and any sprinkles. So I think this one we talked about adding some coconut flakes or white chocolate. So I'm going to select the brown first, add in the shadows around it. Clipping mask is on, yes. Increase my brush. I'm just lightly going around, and then with the smudge tool I'm smudging not the color but the highlight or the shadow. I'm just slowly bringing it in to kind of mix it. And now I will add on a new layer. We can rename this actually shadows. And then on this top layer, details. Just in case we need to erase something, we have them on separate layers. And I'll choose this pinky light color, bring it closer to the white, still the same brush, and now add in flakes. Oops, smaller brush, bigger brush. I got about 10% for mine. And because clipping mask is on, we don't have to worry about going outside of our chocolate. And the chalk brush is great for these kind of flakes because it gives you different sizes depending how hard you press with your pencil. The harder I press, the thicker the brush stroke. The lighter I press, the thinner the brush stroke. So it gives us that variation in our detail. Great, I love it. And what you can do, if you like, you can switch the layer so your shadows are on top to give it a different effect. So as you can see, it looks like it's in the wrapper because it's darker around the edges. So sometimes just depending on the effect you want to have, you can swap out these depending on the order you'd like. Okay, let's keep going. So I'm gonna have my shadows on the very top and my details below the shadows. Next, let's add some sort of fun glaze to this. Get like a more of a pinky color. pinky purple color. What we can do, increase my brush size. Just in the middle here. And then get even a lighter pink in the center. Smudge tool, increase my brush size, and smudge these two colors together. So it almost looks like our strawberry chocolate was glazed in this fun pink. Color. Nice. I jump over to the shadows. So I'm going to zoom in and grab the original pink of the chocolate. Bring down the color picker just a bit so I get a darker version of that original pink. I'm in the shadows. My brush is on the a little bit bigger. Just gonna go around my heart. Smudge tool. And just smudge that out. And as you can see, my pencil's outside of the heart. Because my brush size is so big, it still smudges it in so that it's more gradient. Not the eraser, the smudge tool. So if you're using the smudge tool from the center going out, you'll push the color out. If you're starting from the outside pushing in, then the reverse will happen. The harder you press is the harder you're smudging, so more of the color will be blended. And I think I'm gonna go back to details and add them like some gold flakes. So we wanna go into the orange. Between the yellow and the orange, get a nice yellow, not too bright. And details doesn't come out too well, so I need more orange. Sometimes you gotta play around with the color. I want there to be some sort of like some foil looking flakes. So my brush is on this, just on its side. I'm gonna erase this. Oh, too much erasing. Sometimes if you can't erase, just select the same color and paint over it. And it'll fix the problem right away. Go back to that orangey yellow I'm using. I'm just layering on a lighter version of that yellow orange. Gives a little bit more dimension, some more details. And there's my chocolate heart. Look at that. I'm gonna add some highlights here, some more details to this chocolate by grabbing that pink, going straight up to get the light version of that pink, and just adding some light pink around the center here, which would be the very top of my chocolate, kind of where the light would beautiful. Okay, I like the idea of the drizzling. Let's do that on this details. Yes, grab a nice orange color. And it looks like they just did like a checkered design. Here I'll grab that original brown, make sure I'm on the shadows, increase my brush size, and just go around. Make it a little bit darker. There we go. Grab my smudge tool. And of course, this is not the only way to add shadows. This is just one technique, but the smudging tool is always fun to learn to use. Add a little bit more color there. Back to the smudge. Some color, smudge. Sometimes you gotta play around with it a little bit, and that's okay. To add some more depth to our drizzle, what we can do is grab a darker color, lighter than our shadow, darker than our chocolate, and on one side, maybe a little bit darker. Add some detail like so. And then grab this light color and even going closer to the white so it's a little bit brighter on top. Just in the middle where the light would hit it. Oh, but of course I made a mistake because I was on the wrong layer, but that's okay. We'll just keep going. Okay, for five more to go. We got gold, we got pink, we got some orange. What else we got? We got some swirls in there. I'm gonna go with some swirls right here. I'm gonna choose the original brown, go into details. I will go with like a purple. Add some swirls. Maybe because it's purple. Because inside they got cherry flavor filling. Nice. Same idea as here. Grab a lighter version of that and just maybe even decrease your brush size. In the middle, add some highlights where the light would hit. Like so. Grab the original purple, a little bit darker, and just on the one side, outline the drizzle. Especially where it curves to add dimension. When you zoom out, you can see it adds some dimension to that. Jump over to our shadows. Again, grab that original brown, bring it down a little bit, increase my brush size. I'm going to outline it. Smudge tool. And you're pressing very lightly. Zoom out. It looks awesome. Okay, we'll keep going. What do we want to do here? Let's choose a super light color for this one. And we did zigzags, we did waves. We can add flakes again. Sometimes chocolates just repeat themselves. Or we can do the opposite, grab a really dark color, like almost black, super dark brown. Make sure we're on the detail layer, not the shadow layer. Beautiful. Jump into the shadow layer. Choose the original brown for that chocolate. A little bit deeper. Go around, grab your smudge tool after. Just going back and forth and a little bit up. Beautiful. It's looking great. We can always add more gray, dark gray to our wrappers. If needed, and resmudge it out to give it more dimension. That's the beautiful thing about layers. You can always go back and add more color. Whoops. Like so. Last few, we had pink, we had this. I'm just gonna add some blue. Blue. Like a purpley blue. And I'm gonna do drizzle again. Make sure I'm on details. Decrease my brush size. Maybe that chocolate is filled with some blueberry filling. Grab a lighter blue, even lighter, to add our highlight. Select and hold the original blue, grab a darker color. To give it more dimension. Zoom out, looking great. It's a little messy, but that's what we're going for. That chalky, pastel-y look. Looking great. Select the original chocolate color, jump over into shadows. Gonna decrease the color. Go around my chocolate. Smudge tool, pressing very lightly, going back and forth, and blending it out, or in this case, smudging it out. To give it some dimension from the wrapper. Nice, nicely done. I would like to do another flake version. We already got pink, blue, we got some orange. We can do like dark chocolate. So we got that. Tap and hold. Choose really dark chocolate, yeah. Details. And sometimes I'm pressing down firm to get a bigger, thicker stroke. Sometimes I'm adding a little bit of pressure, pressing down lightly to get thinner strokes. And again, don't worry about going off the chocolate because clipping mask is turned on. This is a chocolate covered with dark chocolate flakes. Nice. Jump over to shadows. I'm gonna select that light brown or the original brown of the chocolate. Decrease the color just a little bit. Go around the chocolate. Get some in shadows. Always double checking what layer you're on. Smudge tool. Beautiful, looking great. And even on the detail side of things, you can grab a very light brown detail, and with a small brush size, whoops, that's red. We don't want red. Add some highlights on top of a few of these flakes. Beautiful. Last one. What should we go for? Flakes we did, crosshatch. I think I'll just do vertical. Okay, grab the original brown of that chocolate, details, and I will go with a very, very light. There you go. Increase my brush size just a tad. Nice. And now for the detail, to give it some highlights, you almost need pure white. Almost. Not quite pure white, but you're getting there. Decrease my brush size. And just in the middle, like we did before, add in some highlights. Jump over to shadows. Again, select the original color of the chocolate. Turn shadows. Decrease that color a little bit. Go around. Select your smudge tool. You can close this now. Beautiful. We got our chocolates. They're designed. They look great. We have highlights, we have shadows. I'm gonna add a little bit more detail to my wrapping paper. Use my smudge tool. A little bit of lighter. Sometimes you have to add some lighter color so that it mixes in and gives it that fun detail. Bring down your smudge tool or increase your smudge tool to get variation. And that's it. We are done. Our box of chocolates. All using one brush, just a smudge tool, and playing around with some color. Looks great. Make sure to follow and subscribe. If you post your illustration to Instagram, Facebook, or anywhere else, tag me so I can take a look at it too. See you in the next video.